It's Monday, January 29th. I'm your host, Sarah Beal. On today's show, we'll get a finance update from Finance Director Mark Milne. We'll talk to Kim White, a digital coach with Barnstable Public Schools. She's going to tell us all about the Makerspace program at Centerville Elementary School. And finally, we'll talk alumni engagement with Susie Greenup of Cape Cod Community College. But first, let's get a look at today's top headlines. The Town of Barnstable Planning Board is hosting a public workshop to review the Downtown Hyannis Growth Incentive Zone designation application. That hearing will be held tonight at 7 p.m. at the Barnstable Senior Center.
This is going to be a community workshop. We've done kind of a lot of outreach and engagement around putting this application together, but this will be an opportunity to have folks really be able to take a look at that application, ask questions, walk through it with town staff, and just, we'll take it, certainly any comments that folks have, but to, get familiar with that document moving forward.
The public is welcome to attend, view the application, and submit any comments or feedback. Again, that meeting is tonight at 7 p.m. at the Barnstable Senior Center. The Barnstable School Committee will also be hosting a workshop this week on Wednesday, January 31st at 7 p.m. The school committee workshop will focus on the Barnstable Public Schools Master Field Plan. The workshop will be held at the Barnstable Intermediate School in the second floor library. A note from the Assessor's Department, FY 2018 abatement applications are due in the Assessor's Office by this Thursday, February 1st. FY 2018 statutory exemption applications, including residential exemptions, are due in the Assessor's Office by Monday, April 2nd. More information can be found online at www.townofbarnstable.us on the Assessor's Office page. Now let's get our Barnstable High School update with intern Mackenzie Connor.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Connor, intern for Channel 18. Here's what's happening at Barnstable High School this week. The class of 2019 is selling shirts to raise money for future events. If you need an order form, see Miss Vasquez. Shirts come in black or gray and are only $18. The deadline is February 1st, so get your money in as soon as you can. On Wednesday, January 31st, Sergeant First Class Nathaniel Sprage of the U.S. Army will be in the Junior-Senior CAF for all 4 lunches. He will be there with information to answer any questions for interested students. For seniors, Scholarship Bulletin number 9 is now available in school counseling and house offices. If you have textiles you're thinking of throwing away, the Recycle Club will appreciate them. They receive a monthly redemption check from Bay State Textiles for your donations. Please bring any clothes, sheets, or blankets to the outdoor receptacle near the basketball courts at BHS. For years, high school students have looked forward to attending their prom and celebrating afterwards with their classmates. For 2018, the post-prom celebration is at risk of cancellation due to minimal funds and lack of new community volunteers. If you have an interest in volunteering or donating, please visit the BHS website or email bhscelebration@gmail.com. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. I'm Mackenzie Connor.
The Town of Barnstable is currently accepting applications for artists and artisans interested in participating in the 2018 Hyannis High Arts Cultural District Artist Shanty Program. Artist shanties are located in the Hyannis High Arts Cultural District at Bismore Park, and new this season, 3 additional shanties along the walkway to the sea overlooking Asselton Park. Artists will be juried as applications are received, and applications are accepted on a rolling basis for the remaining spots of the 2018 season. Spots are filled on need and availability. Applications can be found at www.artsbarnstable.com. Coming up next, Finance Director Mark Milne. Mark, thank you so much for joining us today. I want to say congratulations. Your budget presentation has been awarded the Government Finance Officers Association Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for the 17th year in a row. So that's pretty exciting.
Yes, thank you. It's quite an accomplishment and a team effort to produce a budget document every year that satisfies the criteria of this program, which includes, there's 27 different criteria, 14 of them being mandatory, and you have to submit your budget document to the GFOA, and they assign 3 reviewers to look at that budget document, and they could be from anywhere in the United States or Canada. And they use the established criteria that the GFOA has put together to evaluate that document as to whether or not it should receive this distinguished award that they have. It's the only awards program nationwide for government entities to participate in, and it's designed to encourage governments to create a transparent and well constructed document that will lend itself to educating the local citizenry as to how their money is spent.
Right. I was looking into it, and it's kind of like it gives you criteria so that people can understand it. So when they're looking at the budget presentation, it's not just numbers and not really being able to understand things. Part of it is being able to be understood by regular people like myself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of people, a typical budget, a lot of people are not going to want to look at. It's just a bunch of numbers.
Yeah.
And what do they mean? But this program forces a community to really think about what needs to be included in that document, so that it can be. There's 4 specific areas that they're trying to get you to develop a document to address, and that is as a policy document, outlining what your policies are, your financial policies in particular, an operations guide so that people can understand the services right down to the program levels that you provide to the community, a financial plan. This is how we're going to pay for these services, and these are the revenue sources we're going to use, and here's what the long-term trend and perhaps even a look back as to how those revenue sources have trended, and any reserves you might use to balance that budget, and explain why you might be doing that, as well as a communications device. Again, lends itself to communicating to the community in a clear and concise way. These are what the priorities for the community are, and this is how we're going to address those.
That's great, and it's so great that it's something that's available to anybody. It's on the town website. You can also view it at the libraries, and if someone is wondering how the town is spending money and what the town's planning to spend money on, it's a great tool to pick up and really look at and understand exactly how it all works. And that's a testament to your office, putting this together. And I know this is the 17th year that the town has received this, so it's we're consistently putting out a comprehensive document for people to view.
Yes, it's really I have to say it's a team effort.
Mm-hmm.
This we get a lot of support from the town council. We get a lot of support from department managers and staff because there's a lot of work that goes into producing such a document, and without their cooperation and support to participate in a program like this, we couldn't do it because it creates. It's a lot more work to produce a document that meets these criteria than it would a typical budget document for a community. Mm-hmm. But I think we've seen the benefits of implementing this process in our community. So I think we do a good job of communicating the priorities to the community and how we're addressing those and how we're going to pay for those. And every year we're looking to improve this document. We get some good feedback from the reviewers every year for suggestions as to how to improve it. Once you get the award, you can't just stop there.
Right.
If you want to continue to receive this award, you have to continue to work on enhancing it, implementing suggested improvements from the reviewers. Many of those suggestions may not necessarily address the mandatory criteria, but these reviewers are looking at documents all across the country. They're seeing best practices. They're sharing that with you, which allows you to incorporate some of those into your documents and make it a better document. So we're always trying to improve upon it.
That kind of leads into what my next question was. What are some of the benefits of participating in this program? And that's definitely one of them.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, you really get you get a lot of sharing from your colleagues from across the country as to what they're doing and best practices, and so you get to implement and exercise those best practices, which lead, hopefully to a more understanding of your community, more transparency for your community. Even coupled with the open budget website that we run now, people can see how our revenue sources are coming in compared to what we budgeted for those revenue estimates, as well as where we're spending, and how we're tracking the appropriation spending and making sure that we're staying within that, as well as the capital programs. With the wealth of information we provide in that website for the capital program is one of my favorite parts of that program.
Wonderful. Now, is the budget that was presented, that was awarded was this the last year's budget?
This is the fiscal year 2018 budget that we're
okay.
currently working with.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. So, after we adopt the budget, we submit it to the GFOA. You have 90 days from the day it's adopted to submit it to the GFOA for their review, and so we submitted it soon after the council adopted it back in late May, early June.
Mm-hmm.
And but it takes time. They're reviewing documents, hundreds of documents that get submitted every year. And we just received a notification back in December that we were awarded it once again. And then we also participate in the other awards program that they have, which is for the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. That's another whole program that we've been participating in as well, which again is it's a team effort. But to participate in these programs sponsored by this organization, which is the only one nationwide, once again. It helps you address, make sure that you're implementing best practices and that you really care about sharing financial information with your citizens.
That's wonderful. Mark, thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations again to you and all of your staff and everyone here at the town for all of your hard work on the budget. I know that it's an ongoing process, and you're right into budget for FY19 right now, so I really appreciate it, and thank you for joining me. I look forward to chatting with you again in a couple weeks.
Sure. Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Mark. Have a great day. Bye.
You too.
My guest today is Mark Milne. He's the finance director here in the town of Barnstable. Coming up, Susie Greenup of Cape Cod Community College, but first, Barnstable Public Schools digital coach, Kim White. Kim, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to be talking about the Makerspace program at Centerville Elementary School. So let's start with what exactly a Makerspace is.
So a lot of people have heard, I think, of this term Makerspace, or maybe other people have heard it referred to as an innovative learning center. They've been in education for a while. They're really in the forefront right now as we look at STEAM and STEM engineering, coding, designing, different aspects of having our students think and learn a little bit differently. So in this Makerspace, students will come, not necessarily a whole class. Actually, typically it would be smaller groups of students, and it's a space where there are a lot of different materials, varieties of materials, some higher tech, some lower tech, some no tech, and they're going to be creating and designing. So using that design and engineering process, you create your prototype, you see how it works, you work out the bugs till you end up with a final project or product, if you would. So we're in phase 1, and the biggest challenge I see is making it look as little, I guess if you would, like a traditional classroom as possible. So right now we're working on those cosmetic changes, really exciting things. One wall is going to be a Lego wall where students are going to be able to actually construct with Legos on that surface.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and it, there is a connection to what students are doing in their classroom. So a perfect example might be if you read a story, let's recreate a scene or the setting of that story. We're going to do it with Legos. And so students can build and experiment until they have the scene the way they'd like it to be, and somehow use that. The same wall is going to have a dry erase space and a chalkboard space, so students can do some storyboarding. We're going to have a green screen where they can be shooting some movies, so again, that initial storyboarding process can happen right there. We're going to have a section where there will be some robotics or coding happening, if you would. We have little dots and dashes that we use with our elementary school students, so grids on the floor so they can walk that code, understand, debug, and continue.
Wow.
Another corner is going to have a product called Fab at School, which is made by Fable Vision. And that is actually having a fabricator where students can again design and then use this cutter to create 2 and 3D objects. So some fun and exciting things.
It's so amazing, and I'm so interested in the fact that this is going in an elementary school where it's kindergarten through 3rd grade. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because it just seems like something that you would see more at like a middle or a high school, and I just think that's so cool that you're going to be engaging these younger students with such amazing things.
So part of that, and it's interesting you should say that, I went and visited a makerspace in Mashpee, which is at a high school, and had a conversation with the students there who are doing really cool and great things. In fact, they make the signs for the entire school district in their makerspace,
oh, wow, very
which
cool.
is really neat. But they were so excited to hear it was going in at an elementary level. And they said they wish they had had a space like that. When you're an elementary school student, your inhibitions are low, you feel like you can conquer the world and do anything you want, and so you were more willing to take risks and think a little bit more creatively. And really what we're trying to do here is establish a different mindset for students, a different way of thinking about learning and showing what you know. So it's very exciting to have it at this elementary level, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
That's amazing. What kind of projects have they already done so far? Have they done anything yet?
We haven't brought the students there yet,
Okay.
and that whole process is going to hopefully incorporate community members as well. So as I'm learning about makerspaces and getting excited, and people ask me about them, one of my favorite stories that I read was a makerspace in an elementary school brought in a community member who owned a bike shop, a bike repair shop. And so the day he was coming in, they had said to students, anyone who has a broken bike, please bring it in today. So that entire day he was in the space, students brought their bikes, and he didn't fix them, he showed them how to fix them, and they fixed their bikes themselves. So the piece of this makerspace that is, I think, very important, it's the community piece, but then what do students do with that? So it's an understanding that some of these interests and skills students may have could lead to them in some kind of an entrepreneurship experience when they get out of school. There could be a job or a skill that they didn't realize they could have that could benefit them once they leave a school setting.
That's so wonderful.
very
Are you
exciting.
looking for community people that might be interested in participating in this makerspace?
Yes, we are, and so we're planning, hopefully in the next month or so, to try to survey the parents of that elementary school initially and ask them, you know, what special skill or talent do you have that you think you'd like to try to bring into this space? And then comes the difficult part of trying to coordinate people and students and all those things. But I'm really confident that that's going to happen and just kind of roll out almost organically, as it's a really great community, and I think there's going to be a lot of interest for our families in this space.
Well, it sounds like an absolutely amazing idea, and the kids at Cinderella Elementary School, I think, are going to be so excited when it gets going. And like I said, you're in phase 1 right now of kind of putting the classroom together. So I look forward to chatting with you again, hopefully, when you get to phase 2 and phase 3 and kind of further down the road.
Sure, maybe we can have you come out on location once we get in, and maybe with our grand opening or soft opening at some point, and just have you see what it really looks like to have the kids in there. Once the students get in there, I look to them. That's what some pieces you put into place as you read about, you know, what makes a good makerspace, but really it's based on the students who go in there. So again, some surveying of the students. What do you like? What are your interests? Let's see what they do and what they want. So phase 2, I think, will spurn off of what the students really want.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in and telling us about this amazing program. I can't wait to learn more about it.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. My guest today is Kim White. She's a digital coach in Barnstable Public Schools. Susie, thank you so much for joining us again. You were in a couple months ago. We were talking about alumni things, and we're going to continue talking about alumni stuff. First thing we want to talk about is the Alumni of the Year Award. I know this is something that's being brought back.
Yes, thank you, Sarah, for letting me come again. The Cape Cod Community College Educational Foundation, in partnership with the college, is bringing back the Alumni of the Year Award. It was last awarded in 2013, and for a variety of reasons sort of fell off the face of the earth. Nobody really wanted that to happen, but good news is it's back. And we sent out a communication to as many alums and donors to the foundation and put it in the papers to reach as many people as possible, because anybody can nominate an alum of the college. An alum is defined as someone who has at least taken a course at the school. You don't necessarily have to have gotten an associate's or a certificate, but definitely need to have taken a course. We have extended the deadline to February 26th. that will be the drop dead date for getting nominations in. And you can nominate an alum by looking at the instructions on the college website. If you go to www.capecod.edu and then look in the left-hand corner of the homepage, there's a place for alumni. And if you click on Alumni and Foundation, you can then click on Welcome to the Alumni site, and there's a letter there which you can look at, which gives you instructions of what to do. And we would love, anybody to nominate somebody that they think is worthy of the award, and the criteria are also listed on the instruction sheet.
I was going to ask you what some of the criteria are.
Well, first of all, obviously, spent some time at Four Cs.
Obviously.
That they have, we would like them to have pursued more education. Doesn't necessarily have to happen. We'd like them to have been involved in their community and or been involved with the college, volunteer work. Those are the kinds of things. And it'll really vary because somebody might be stronger in a couple of the criteria and not so much in the others. And a passion for their school, and then that would come out in, hopefully the person nominating would mention those things.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think it's great that you brought this back. I remember when I graduated, there's Alumni of the Year, and it kind of gives you someone to be like, oh, okay, like, you look at them as someone that I could be like that someday. I could, be someone who's active in my community, who's, gone on and done more with their life, but still has their roots here at Cape Cod Community College, which is such an important institution here.
Absolutely. And, it services all different types of people and, where they are in their careers, whether they're coming out of high school, whether they're going back to school. It's a great place. And the foundation, which partners is like the development arm of the college, our mission is to support the college and to help the college in any way, and trying to get alumni back involved by doing things like Alumni of the Year and then the event we're going to talk about in a couple of minutes are so important. It'll be great. It's been done since, I think, 1983 was the first time they did Alum of the Year. So it'll be nice.
Yeah, it will be nice. Very exciting.
And this time around, we're putting in a little different twist. We'd like to nominate 2 alums or award 2 awards. One for somebody who spent their time at Four Cs more than 10 years ago, and then somebody who spent their time at Four Cs less than 10 years in the past 10 years.
That's right.
So
it's nice to honor 2 people that someone that may not have been at Four Cs for a while. They maybe graduated a while ago, but they've gone on to do many wonderful things. And someone that's more recent that maybe it can be like, oh, okay, so you can see both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
that's
and that's the whole reason. I mean, to honor somebody who's done amazing things, whatever they may be, and we're not putting necessarily an absolute guideline on this, but general criteria.
That's great. The other event we want to talk about is you're going to be holding a Criminal Justice Alumni Network gathering on Thursday, April 26th at 5:30.
Yes.
And we want to get the word out to anybody that's participated in the criminal justice program at Four Cs, correct?
Yes. According to the college, we have over 900 graduates over the years that have come through the criminal justice program. They might not all be in the criminal justice field. So last year we held a sort of pilot model program with nursing, and we're doing affinity groups just because we think that's the best way to get people together, at least to start off. So this year we're doing the criminal justice, and we are having a gathering, as you say, on Thursday, April 26th at 5:30. Be 5:30 to 7:30 on campus. And my biggest challenge in reaching all those graduates is that I have no way of knowing necessarily whether their address and contact information is correct. So best thing that alumni in general, and obviously more immediate for the criminal justice alumni, is to go on the website again and go to the college website and then go to the alumni portion of that. And there's a form, an online form, where you can update your information. And that comes directly to me. If you do nothing else, your email address would be awesome, because we will send the invitation to people both hard copy and electronically.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're definitely trying to build a sense of community among the alumni of Cape Cod Community College, and I think that's just wonderful. As myself being an alum, it's,
Yes.
you know, it's important to still have that connection. So I think it's so wonderful that you're doing all this hard work to kind of bring us alumni back together.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure, and it's definitely a fun thing to do. I meet so many amazing alums. You know, most of them are local, which tends to be the trend for community college alumni. And, you know, they're all doing wonderful things that we just don't necessarily hear about. So it's been a nice journey so far.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming in and telling us about
Sarah.
this. And I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it also. Thank you.
My guest today is Susie Greenup. She's the coordinator of alumni engagement at Cape Cod Community College. Let's take a look at this week's community calendar. The Barnstable Senior Center is hosting Garden Talk, starting your plants from seed, on Thursday, February 1st from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Now is the time to plant a garden, whether it's tomatoes or flowers. Irene Cooper, Master Gardener, will help you get your plant started from seed. This is a cost-saving approach to enjoying the beauty and bounty of spring and summer. Seed packets will be available on a first-come basis. Think spring and RSVP by calling the Senior Center at 508-862-4750. Here's a look at this week's board, committee, and commission schedule. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow with an all-new show. On tomorrow's show, we'll talk with DPW Director Dan Santos and Assistant Senior Services Director Donna Burns. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Beal.